I'm Joey.
I'm Carlene.
And I'm Pete. And this is Triple the Nonsense.
All aboard the friend train. We got our first guest on the podcast. I told you I had a dumb joke to start with.
You said you had a joke, not a dumb prop to start with. That's a very different thing. I was not prepared for a train whistle. Hey, we're at the station.
You're welcome. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. How are we doing?
I mean, what can beat that, Joey? I think after that moment, we're all pretty good right now.
Good to hear. Pete, how are you doing?
I appreciate that. After like the last arc that we did, we need some nonsense, some jokes.
We need some dumb nonsense. Yeah.
And you brought the train whistle, and there's no better way to like have a solid reset. Let's move on from like the reality that we just experienced into something more fun.
Like our first ever guest, Holly.
First ever guest. Not just our guest. This is our executive producer.
Unofficially, but yes.
Unofficially, but like we don't
does
believe in
none
rules.
of the work of an executive producer.
But you designed our logo.
Yeah, you designed our logo.
That's huge.
Big deal.
True.
And you're in like a whole group chat with us.
Oh my gosh.
And you're the only one. Yeah.
Facts on facts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
I'm the only one? I feel so special.
you are special.
Yeah,
That's why you're the first guest. You're guest numero uno.
Numero uno.
Yep.
Oh my
Gesto
gosh.
primero.
Bueno,
That's the extent of what I can do. I'm sorry.
I'll take it, man.
All right. So this is our first ever episode with a guest, and we chose Holly, who's been our supporter from the jump. So the first thing I want to do is I want the three of us to give our first impressions of Holly so that our listeners can be like, oh, this is who Holly is.
Love.
Does anybody want to volunteer to go first?
Me.
Of course you do.
Holly sucks. Just kidding.
I see no error.
I very specifically remember one of my first impressions of Holly, that she was very funny and nice. And I know we've had this conversation a lot, that like, even though I knew I interacted with you in your TikToks and everything, I for some reason like was not mutually following you back. I must have had like a brain aneurysm, and I apologize. But then I remembered when I was brought into the Snapchat group, like you were one of the first people to be like, Joey's here, and I was like, I know you. This is fun. So like I've only ever had like positive things, like my first initial thoughts, and then I slowly learned that those things were true and correct, and I have great assumptions of people. And yeah, Holly's lovely. You're in for a treat. I'm in a happy mood. I took a nap, so we're good to go.
Aw, Joey.
I'll go next. I think my first encounter with Holly had to have been when our friend Jessie started Duchess of Duets, and we were competing, and you know, after I left the competition or I got out, I remember following Holly, and I forget what video it was, but it was one TikTok that I just had a blast doing with her because she is so bubbly. You are so bubbly. You are full of like sunshine, and like I was like so happy to get to know you and like be able to duet you. And it's been a joy since getting to, you know, get to know her, and you know, she's a beam of light, and I love her.
Oh,
And she has the voice of an angel.
Not her talking voice, her singing voice. Her talking voice is fine, but her singing voice, that's a good one.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
We can't gas
just to
her up too
clarify.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go next on account of that's the only option.
True. Holly, what was your first impression of yourself?
Don't interrupt me. That's rude. Don't be rude, Holly. So my first impression of Holly, I actually saw she made a duet of a Lion King song that was between Simba and Nala, and then there's a little itty bitty part for Zazu. So I was like, I can do a little bit, And so I was literally just Zazu. And I remember after I made that, which was like, again, I did almost nothing, but I was just a cantankerous toucan. And then she messaged me, she's like, yo, your first 50 views were probably me watching it over and over and over again. And I was like, this is the vibe. Like,
Yes.
just happy all the time. So this is good people.
Good people.
I do
Good.
have to correct you though, Pete. Your
Uh-oh.
word was curmudgeonly, and that's what locked me in on your video was the fact that you said the curmudgeonly admin, and I lost it. I remember seeing
I forgot there was context for that.
that duet popped up on my inbox, and I was like, oh, what's this? Watched it. I sat in my basement for the next 20 minutes watching that video on replay because it said curmudgeonly, and I had to duet that video because it said curmudgeonly.
I am very funny in very small doses like that.
You're always funny.
And small doses. But thank you.
No, in big doses. Don't lie.
Our podcast
Anyways.
go like on for 45 minutes. You're very funny. No negativity. It's the friendship episode.
It's the friendship episode. So speaking of the friendship episode, Holly, it is your turn to tell us your first impression of yourself, and then tell us about yourself. The rest of it.
So my first impression of myself was when I was born, and I was crazy loud. Like I had this mouth that still has not shut up since. So
That checks out.
that's me. So my impressions of you guys, I'll go in the order that you traveled in first. So Joey, I remember seeing, I think there was like a duet that Carlene had done with you. It was something where it was like through other people, I found you, watched a bunch of your videos, thought you were hilarious, immediately hit follow.
Makes sense.
And then
And then he did not follow back, and you were
never
heartbroken.
followed me back.
I have since.
Never followed you back.
I was
even
very
right now.
bitter. I was very bitter. But I remember you had done a video as Maya He. It was the little like that one.
Maya,
Yep.
yeah.
And that was the first video I duetted with you. And I just sat there and was like, this guy is so funny. And then they added you into the group chat, and I fangirled a lot and was like, Joey's here. This is so great. And then you were like everything from your TikToks and then some.
Oh yeah.
So there was no like, this is like his fake persona. It was like, no. This is 100% Joey. And then it just gets more.
It gets way worse.
And you became my Hufflesith counterpart. And since then, it's been a delight.
For the most part.
I'm gonna cry.
The Sith part comes out.
Yeah. Getting grounded was never a fun time, but it was a lovely dynamic.
We're past that though, because you created our logo.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're free. You're no longer can get grounded.
Yes, and that is lovely. Carlene, I do recall our DoD days together. I, unfortunately, because we've talked about this, I was terrible in the first round of Duchess of Duets. I did not watch anyone's videos outside of my division because there was not enough brain power for me with that. That competition was a lot. But I remember as soon as I got into the final 7, Carlene commented on like every video I posted for this competition. And I was like, who is this angel human? We must be friends. And then I followed you on TikTok and started doing dances with you, and then got in a group chat with you and fangirled over you. And it was a great time. And I like just the fact that we've gotten a lot closer since, like side snapping and having conversations outside of this stuff, and it's just been a delight.
And our love for Supernatural, like
oh my gosh,
that
so much
recently. So
I think the fact that you and I just keep finding things in common, like it hasn't stopped yet where we're just like, and this is where our similarities end. It's just been more of, you what? Like you also do this? Oh my gosh. So it's been great.
You do have a knack for finding common ground with people.
That's very true.
I'm a person that's very eclectic. I'm into a lot of different things in various doses, and so it's easy for me to find that stuff because there's just too much here all the time. And Pete was accurate with the curmudgeonly Lion King video. You did a few duets that summer, because this was the summer of 2020. So we were all
Yeah.
having a blast on TikTok during quarantine with nothing else to do. And I remember talking with you in someone's live. And that was when I was like, okay, he's a lot funnier than just his duets. And I was like, and friend, like this guy I need to see more of, need to talk to more. And we started messaging on the side more. And it was great to just have another nerd to talk to, especially with the love of science and both being science teachers in our own way. And it was a lot of fun to just constantly go, Science Pete, I must have the answers.
And that still happens to this day.
Wait,
Mhm.
Pete, you like science?
We haven't talked about that on here yet. I like dabble in like the scientific arts, if you will.
Yeah.
You just made me question everything. I was like, I think we have talked about it on here.
I'm just spilling the tea in this podcast, like
Yeah.
in case anyone didn't know.
In case anybody didn't know, like
He likes science.
nerd.
We're all nerds in our own different
Proud
way.
of it, yes.
Very true.
All right, so like I mentioned kind of earlier before, we had like a heavy arc now. Now we're going into like, let's find some happiness. And I'm a very firm believer, and Joey dances whenever he wants to, and we should cherish that. You should watch the podcast on YouTube because you can see him dancing.
I have you dance a lot, so like
It's
we're
fantastic.
having a good
Well,
time.
Pete, first, before we get into the light, don't we want Holly to kind of like give an introduction to our viewers and listeners about a little bit about her?
Oh, yeah, Holly, you skipped over yourself. Tell us about you.
Oh yeah, you did skip over yourself. I had two parts of the question. You did the first part. So thank you, Carlene, for keeping us on track. I'm not good at the details.
Queen
That's
of
where
the
you're
people.
the queen of the people.
Queen of the people.
So Holly,
Yes.
outside of what we've already said, please tell us about who is Holly.
What's your social security number? What's your address? Your
What street
telephone
did you
number?
grow up on? What was
All,
your
Okay,
of
best
the, all of
name?
the details.
Yeah.
All your passwords. Yeah.
So my security question is so I am a Pennsylvania kid, born and raised, have always lived in this state, love it here. I am a teacher. I teach 5th grade language arts, science, and social studies. This is 8 years of teaching now. Yeah, 2014 I started. So yeah, we've been at this for a bit, but I love my school. I love my kids. It's a great time. I especially love teaching science and social studies. They're my favorites. So it's a great time. Outside of my profession, I am an avid nerd of many varieties. Specifically, the one that has me hooked again right now is my love for books. Hence, if you're watching the YouTube version of this podcast, you will notice the entire bookshelf behind me. So you should all watch the YouTube version of this podcast.
And subscribe and leave comments. I digress. Move on.
But yes, I am a mad book lover. I am a Disney kid who grew up watching Beauty and the Beast, saw Belle's library, wanted the library, and then installed it in my basement. But yeah, I'm a general nerd. I love books. I love art. I love Marvel, DC a little bit, Star Wars, and the like. Find myself getting lost in YouTube videos about science or history for fun. I also dabble in graphic design, which has allowed me to make lovely things for lovely people, which has been a lot of fun. I think that's it about me, but if I left anything out, let me know.
So the design she's talking about, we have actually posted some of her designs on our Instagram. So if you would like to see more of her work, definitely check out our Instagram, and you'll get to see some of her work there.
What is our Instagram?
It's at Triple the Nonsense Podcast. Also linked below. We
Oh,
love
sweet.
self plugs.
We love that.
It's going to be this whole episode.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Holly did that logo? Go follow us on Instagram.
Right. Oh, Holly, she's our friend only because she does logos. If it wasn't for logos, we'd be like,
That's the
oh,
only
my
reason
first
I'm here.
impression of Holly was, I think she draws.
Yeah.
I think she draws,
Sometimes she sits on her iPad and just makes things.
makes
Yeah.
things.
And like we know her through TikToks. And you know what has a TikTok? The podcast. You should
Oh my
check
Podcast.
God.
it out.
Oh, what's our podcast
Go
TikTok?
follow us.
Triple the
Yeah.
nonsense.
Especially because the logos on all of those places is something that like I did.
It is
So if
true.
you really
Yeah.
want to see it, go
If you
check
want to
it
learn about
out.
Holly, check us out.
Yeah, go seriously. If you want to see my mediocre artwork, go check out all of their stuff. You can
Hey,
see it
Hush.
everywhere.
I'm not going to call that
mediocre.
mediocre.
No.
Sorry,
How
sorry.
dare you?
I forgot the rules. It's my bad.
There are
Podcast is
rules
done.
here.
This is over. You ruined it.
We don't talk bad about ourselves here. I am so sorry.
We don't talk poorly about Holly. Sorry, that was bad. Move on.
That wasn't bad. It's
It
like,
could have been better. It could
it's
have
like
been
a
better.
B minus.
It could
That's
have
still
been
good.
better.
It wasn't
It'll
my best.
pass.
It
It'll
wasn't my
pass.
best. It wasn't my best.
No, it wasn't your best, but
It was
like
on the
it's okay.
spot though, and that's
Yeah.
what counts. Is like you had the
That was solid
inspiration.
improv.
Mhm.
Solid
You did
improv.
it.
We knew what tune you were going for. We knew what the message was. So like, mission accomplished.
I'm
A
proud
for
of you.
effort.
Yeah.
I'm
Well
not
done.
proud. It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
This isn't about me. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all good.
Uh,
We got it.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
All right. Anywho, so anyways, back to kind of like the central theme of the podcast. We're trying to like make things light and happy. And I'm a firm believer of whatever you're looking for in life, you're gonna find that. And that's true for like happiness or problems. And Holly, you always seem to find a way to like be bubbly and happy. And even when you're like in Sith mode, you're still like enjoying it. So like, how do you always manage to find a way to like find happiness in life? So I think that's something that we would all benefit from.
Okay. My answer is twofold. So one of them is we'll make this very short. But I'm a Christian, so I find a lot of my joy in Jesus and like my faith and everything. So that's been something that like I grew up with and having that joy there. So that is a huge part of it, but I'm keeping that short because I know that some people don't relate to that, and that's okay. Like you do you. The other part of that, though, is just the household I grew up in. My family is very good at expressing happiness, and we loved finding joy in things. And I was always the kid that was like, I found a rock and it looks awesome. And I would run into the house and I would just have a rock. And my dad would be like, that's amazing. You know what? You should start a collection. So I did. And I had a rock collection. And like, you wouldn't think that a 5-year-old would start a rock collection that would carry into her like early 20s, but I did. And it was all because I was always encouraged to like find joy in the little things. So I never lost that. And it could be something as simple as like the light turned green when I drove up to it.
Oh, that's
This
lovely.
is the best day ever. Or like I found a penny and it was shiny. Like it's not a dirty penny, it's a shiny penny. And I'm stoked.
That does
And
make a difference.
it does. I mean, sometimes the appearance of the penny really like matters. And I mean, if it's an old penny, how old is it? Like, are we talking like the 1970s? Are we talking the 1950s? Like, what kind of era penny is this? Because now I must know. And then I get excited by knowledge. So I was always fueled and like encouraged to find that joy. And even in times where it got hard, I had a rough second job of teaching where I ended up leaving that job to come to the school I'm at now and couldn't be happier. But during that time, it was really hard for me to like find my joy again. And I got a recommendation from a friend to download an app called 1 Second Every Day. And I ended up like, I was like, okay, every day you have to find one thing that makes you happy. So it would be sitting and working with my tutoring kids, or it would be I passed a flower and I was stoked because the colors were beautiful. So I'd record the flower and that would be my 1 second for the day. And I did that for the entirety of that 2 years at that school. And it really helped me like refocus on that because it's all little things. Like I went to a concert and you get like 2 seconds of a concert and it's like just exciting for that. So I tried to find little things that made me happy.
Go ahead, Joe.
Pick me.
Joey, sorry.
Two things. One, you said that was an app because I want to download it immediately.
Yeah,
I
kinda
will.
same.
Yeah, it's Second Every Day. It's an app. The logo I think is dark blue and orange and has a number 1 on it. I don't I think my phone's in my pocket. I was
I
like,
love
I didn't
it.
want my phone near me for
No, that's
podcast,
super
but
profound because that's exactly like that's a big deal. Like
I
that's
found it.
saying like make a deliberate attempt to like find something
Yeah.
beautiful about the world.
looks like
Yeah.
oh, wait, that's the agree page. But it looks like that.
That's the
Well,
one.
and
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I did this for 2 years straight of just finding something every day to like highlight, because then like later on that night when you're thinking about like, oh, this was such a rough day, like, oh my gosh, I'd like open up my phone and be like
Serotonin.
goldfish, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
That's
here
really
for
cool.
it. My second question: do you still have the rock collection?
Yes.
That rocks. Sorry, I needed to make that joke.
It's not
Oh.
I was like sitting here waiting,
love
like
it.
I gotta get it out. I gotta get it out. It's
Oh
there.
my God.
Yes, I do still
So
have the rock
embarrassing.
collection. It's definitely not as big as it used to be, because I used to have like a box. Like I'm
Because
talking
of
like
erosion.
blue, but like,
I mean, don't take that for don't take that for granted. You still have some.
oh, love that.
Oh.
If I thought about this longer, I could join you in the rock puns, but like I'm still focusing on making sure that I do your podcast well. So like we're not there.
You're literally crushing it.
You're literally crushing. We're a bunch of dodo heads. You're fine.
We're going from
Solid.
we're going from sedimentary to igneous because you're crushing it so hard.
We started with a train whistle. You're
Which is
fine.
so funny because like my mom knows that I'm doing this with you guys tonight, and she's gonna hear the train whistle and be like, oh, your dad's gonna want to listen now because my dad's obsessed with trains.
Oh,
So,
that's
like,
right.
You
look at
tapped
you
into the
started.
whole family thing right here.
Because you
Hello,
and your dad
Holly's
used to go train
parents.
watching, right?
I did. Yes.
I love that.
My dad goes rail fanning, which is a thing that a lot of people don't know about, where it's basically you go hiking to find trains, then you take pictures of trains, and you will wait there until the train shows up.
I love that. There's a
I've
TikTok
never
account like
heard
that.
of that, but I would want to do that.
I
It
love
was
trains.
Oh my
great,
gosh.
especially as a kid. I learned how to like that was where I started learning about photography. That was where I got my love of nature was
Mm.
going out in the woods with my dad and hiking up like really weird looking hills and stuff. And like I didn't care. I was like covered in dust and mud by the time we were done because I'm like, we climbed a whole hill and like
And I found more rocks.
I took a picture of a train and I found the smoothest rock ever. So it was great.
Joey,
love
I know
that.
this is Holly's episode, but I have to make a request from you now. I'm gonna need a TikTok from you where you go to a train track with your train whistle. And you have to blow your whistle, and when it blows your whistle, you say, "Me too, me too."
And you have to put it on the
Make
Triple the
that happen.
Nonsense TikTok.
Yeah.
You have to put
Deal.
it on the Triple the Nonsense TikTok because this will be like a deep cut in.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be a deep. Oh wow.
That could be
Oh.
our new opening music if we ever decide to get new opening music. Like just Joey.
I love us. We love nonsense. Carlene also had a thing to say.
I did have a question because you mentioned the app and Joey kind of asked about it. But do
Yes.
you still use that app today?
Sometimes not as much as I used to. Now it's not. It doesn't serve the same purpose. At the time, I just really needed it and needed something to help me refocus on happiness. And now I've got other stuff for that. Now there's like fun projects and amazing books, and we have a dog in the house. So like,
And a
Things are great.
podcast.
and friends with a podcast and TikTok. I mean, I didn't have well, I had TikTok, but I didn't post anything on TikTok
Right.
at the time that I really needed this. So it like now I've got that. So I've got a lot of other things that can bring joy in my life, but occasionally I'll still go on and just be like one solid month of photos just so I can get the download of the month later in a minute. It's great.
So Pete, I know you might have some extra stuff, but Holly, I am actually curious. What is your TikTok story? Because we've kind of mentioned it in our intros videos, but what is your story and what brought you to TikTok? Because again, Holly is one of our friends that we have met through the app. And I think it'd be interesting to hear kind of what brought you to TikTok and how you started.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm following you.
A literal worst.
Um, I think my TikTok journey is actually different than a lot of our friends because I was on TikTok prior to quarantine. For a while.
Oh, you're so cool.
I'm so
So
I'm just ahead of the
hipster.
game.
I had TikTok
before it
in
was
August of
cool.
2019.
Back when it was what was
actually,
it?
yeah,
What
like
music? Back
September.
when it was Musically, like
Wow.
Actually, no, did have Musically, but I had it for different, like when I was babysitting, I had a kid that was obsessed with it, so we would go on Dub Smash and
Yo.
Musically.
I
I
was
don't know what
kidding.
Musically is.
Dub
I was
Smash.
We
kidding.
made videos. Oh, I was
What's-
on Vine. Like
I had Vine.
I
yeah,
go
but
back. Like
You
I
had
love
Musically.
it.
Wow.
I did.
What's
Did you just-
Musically?
Musically is what TikTok it was. It used to be
Yeah.
called
I
Musically.
thought
then
TikTok
it
was Vine.
No.
No. Vine
But they're the same
died
thing.
and TikTok took it.
It's a similar thing, but Vine died.
Oh,
Musically was
man.
existing, and Musically was only lip syncing to like songs, like the weird slow mo things.
Yeah.
And then it was bought
Oh.
out by a different company. I couldn't tell you what. Turned
Yeah.
into TikTok, and now it's the monstrosity that it is today.
Oh, okay. See, I'm
Yeah.
old and I don't know things. I was not Mr. Social Media guy.
Mhm. Well, I had
Right.
Musically and Dub Smash before both of them merged together to form TikTok. But I got on TikTok in 2019 because of my students. So I was teaching 5th grade at the time. It was my first gen ed class. And they kept making references to things that I didn't understand. And then they'd look at me and go, oh, it's a TikTok thing you wouldn't understand. And I am overly concerned about my students a lot of the time. And so I ended up downloading the app because I wanted to see if what they were talking about was something that was inappropriate that I should discourage them from talking about. And then got sucked into the rabbit hole that is TikTok. So I would spend hours scrolling. And during quarantine was when I decided to make a second account. That was where I started posting. And that account, it was initially intended for my students. We weren't allowed to Zoom with them or have any like sort of visual communication with them. Some of my kids would email me during quarantine, but that was about it. And so I wanted to have something that they could see my face on. So they had been bothering me all year to make a TikTok. So I did, and I posted a tweet to my little teacher page that was like, Ms. Blair has a TikTok. And it was real subtle. And I told like 2 of the kids about it. And I was like, these are the 2 kids that will spread this around my class in like 3 minutes. Within about 2 days, I had half of my class following me. And the initial content that I posted was all directed at them. And then other teachers would find me and I was like, this is not for you. I mean, great, enjoy, but like there's a specific group of 25 5th graders that this is for. And then I started making connections on TikTok, found a whole bunch of awesome teachers, found a whole bunch of awesome people. And since then I've kind of expanded outside of just teacher TikTok to meet other great people. But that's where it all began. And I've loved the journey. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of growth has happened from TikTok.
We love that. I feel like a lot of teachers, and like, I mean, I know the 4 of us are similar in this way, and a lot of our friends, it's like, did start specifically making teacher contents. And then we're like, oh, but there's more we can do. Oh, we're more than just teachers. And then like definitely like expanded from there. Like, I know I rarely make teacher content now. Like I still do every now and again, but like, it's more just like, oh, this is a dumb sound. Okay. Like, I love that.
Yeah, it's not a lot of teacher content on my page anymore. I think it's maybe 1 out of every 10 videos is something to do with teaching. And the rest is acting challenges, blind react to music, weird sound that I thought would be really funny as a millennial. Like,
Yeah. Millennial TikTok.
They get me. I just got super distracted, Holly, by your fingernail color. What inspired your fingernail color?
So one of my many nerdy sides is my love for Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
And exactly. So this is a nail polish color called Butler Please by Essie. Yes, Pete.
This is a lab coat. This
It
is my lab
matches
coat.
Your microphone
Yeah, I
so
know.
well.
I
know.
love that.
So my lab coat is a time machine.
That's
And it's the
so
same
fun.
color
love
as
that.
Holly's fingernails. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out on
There we go.
extra nerdiness.
I
Go
was gonna
subscribe
plug it
to
if
the
you
YouTube
didn't.
channel.
Yeah, but I had to actually repainted it for you guys because this morning I chipped this like pointer finger off, and it was like this little bit of blue and nothing else. So I use my hands too much at work, so I'm constantly like, my nail polish never lasts because I'm passing out papers and chipping
Same.
everything, and I smack it into my desk, and it'll just,
Ditto.
because I'm expressive with my hands, so it's
Like,
terrible.
what are you expressing? Like, you're like, blah, 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 and then hit a wall?
Well, Pete, there's so much action in my life, and and so I move my hands a lot when I speak. That's also like the Middle Eastern side where I can't hold still at all, and I must be expressive at all times. And so I have been known to smack my desk, a table. I have this little rolly cart because I'll just move my hands around. I'll be like, guys, and it just bam. They think it's hilarious though, so it's great.
It does sound actually pretty. As a fifth grader, I'd probably like, Holly's just smacking stuff around all the time. I'm staying out of her arm radius.
True.
You don't need another concussion.
No, you don't.
Yeah, Pete.
Fifth grade me didn't have any concussions yet, I don't think.
Wow.
I would
bless.
really have hated to give you your first though, from really expressive.
I know, you
talking.
still, yeah.
I
What's
really
your first
wonder.
head injury? Oh yeah, my teacher was like just being like, guys, and I don't remember
I was
anything
there.
after that.
My teacher was really excited
And
about
then I was
science.
37.
And then I was 37, and on a podcast episode, and I was like, wait,
Where
we're
am I?
nerds?
I think that's my
this is
teacher.
cool. I think that's what I do.
I wonder what Pete would be like if he didn't have all those concussions. I
I'd
wonder
probably
these
be-
things sometimes.
I'd probably be cool.
You
You're
are
so cool.
cool.
No, I'm with Pete. Like, but
Yeah.
listen, I mean this in the nicest way. By your definition of cool, you mean like the not nerdy, not stuff, which in reality isn't cool. So because of all the nerdy things and who you are as a person,
actually-
you are cool. So
I think because like
that made sense in my
even
brain.
before like concussions started happening, I think I was still super duper into science, and I was a smart kid, and
Oh, so
I
you've lost
played
the
in the
smart.
woods all the time.
So you've lost the smart part. Got it.
Yeah, for the most part, I can handle like 2 or 3 subjects, and that's probably about the capacity I can handle.
That's fair.
This is supposed to be a light, friendly episode. What is it becoming?
Yeah.
Our
Gentlemen?
love
Carly,
language is
You're
hate.
well aware of our love language is gentle bullying. All
That
4
was-
of us.
That's
That was
very
very-
I
accurate.
do
That
not
was-
Yeah.
condone bullying.
That was very gentle bullying. I was calling
Yeah.
cool, but in a mean
Yeah.
way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was actually like that was the nicest thing Joey's ever said to me.
Okay, that's false. But
No. Dude, I have a whole episode that proves you otherwise, that Joey has said wonderful things about you.
Oh, I don't remember that episode. I wasn't there.
me
for that,
neither.
probably.
Actually, and I edited them. Which one?
The episode about Pete. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that makes sense.
We didn't make fun of me that episode.
You made fun of you guys made fun of you, but not a ton. Like there was nice bits where it was like talking about how nice you were and like how fun you were and how smart you were.
Oh,
we
guys.
had you describe yourself in 3 words. Give
Oh, I do remember that
yourself
part.
3 compliments.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
I
plant
blocked.
daddy.
I blocked that out.
So did I. I don't do compliments very well.
I must have blacked
just
out the
fine
whole
on that
episode.
I went into a fugue state.
His concussions are very targeted. Only nice words are what he
Right.
forgets. Everything else
Right.
is locked
If
in.
it's
That's
mean,
fair. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna laugh about it. Though,
Remember
because
that
I'm broken.
forever. That's my new trauma.
I will say though, that was part of the reason that I liked like Carlene, you and I have bonded over like nice words and like encouraging each other. But with Joey and Pete, that was something that I was like, oh my gosh, 2 equally sarcastic people that enjoy like mildly bullying the other people, but only in love. Like these are my people.
I
We-
don't bully people I don't like.
We love a gentle roast.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yes, a gentle
Yeah.
roast, light roast.
They
It's a great
roast
time.
me quite a
It's a
bit.
light.
It's a light roast.
It's a Pike's Peak of
Yeah,
friendship.
roast. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like a medium rare.
That's
Like, you know.
it, Pete. We digress.
I don't even drink coffee,
Friends.
and I made a coffee reference. My night is over.
Spot on. Spot on.
I love how, I mean, I don't know the actual plan for this episode because I didn't look, but like I feel like we're so off track, but I'm so here for it.
Well, it's
of
triple the nonsense. That's what
speaking
this
of
has
off,
to be.
speaking of off track. Sorry.
Oh, that's a dark joke now. People got hurt with that joke, Joey.
Who?
If a train goes off the track, bad things happen.
they whatever.
Literally.
He tried to save that and it just couldn't go.
Listen, Spider-Man would save them. It's fine. That was in a movie once. Twice.
Spider-Man's not in Maine.
You don't know that.
Feel pretty confident because there's no buildings for him to like web off of.
I will agree with Pete. He's not in Maine.
Whatever.
Gosh, who agrees with Pete nowadays?
When the nerds unite, we unite strong.
We
How do you know I'm not chubby Spider-Man? Maybe I save Maine. We don't know that.
You can almost do the splits.
No.
I can almost do the splits.
Yeah, that's impressive and acrobatic.
You guys should check out Joey on his personal page to find out if he can do splits or not.
Linked below. There's no proof, but
I guess there's gonna be some work to do in that regard to be like, hey guys, I've progressed and now I can do the split.
I've lost 6 pounds.
Yes.
Oh, I've gone the other direction. Well done, Joey. I'm proud of you. You've been working really hard though.
I actually stopped working. I don't know how it happened, but it's fine.
Stress.
No, when I'm stressed, I eat more.
Oh no, actually no. You've been
a lot going on recently.
Oh, it's probably the joy I've been experiencing. This is not about me.
It's probably
Holly.
It is probably.
No, it's Joey. Circle
to
back.
bring it back on track.
Yeah.
Joey, thank you.
It's been
There's a reason your name is almost Joy, but with an E.
You're right.
Yeah.
What about Joy? So Holly.
Yes.
Tell us about a time that you felt like most consumed by just a feeling of pure joy.
Right
Whenever
now.
she talks to me.
Right now.
Life.
This exact moment. Oh gosh. Okay, is it going to be bad if I say I can't remember a specific version of like a specific moment? Because like I said, I get excited about the littlest things. So it could have been like yesterday. It also could have been like 3 years ago. And it would have been the like same level of joy. Like I like graduating college in my master's program, amazing amounts of joy. But traveling to visit friends that I met on the internet and seeing them in person, probably equivalent to like those major accomplishment joys. Also, running out into nature and just existing in like a national park by myself for like 6 hours, same joy. Like
man,
it's all there at the same level of just like, this is awesome.
I love that. Although the internet friends you met were none of us, but whatever.
Sadly, it was not you guys this time.
It was first generation internet friends.
That's valid.
Yes.
We're
These
second
are-
generation.
Yeah.
Or third or fourth. Who knows?
We're
Yeah.
appendix generation.
Yeah. I mean, the first group that I ended up meeting was the first group that actually like pulled me into a group. So like they staked claim first, and then I was later brought into the group that you guys were in. So it was that.
But I was
that
the
was
last
the
one in
first
that group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the last. Yeah.
You're the baby.
The last, and we couldn't
So
top
many
me because
ways.
I'm the best. So I was added to the group. It's like, oh, we can't get any better than this. No more.
And we're done. That was it.
We're at capacity. The
This
bounce
is-
is outside
this
the
is-
club now, and it's like you can't come in this full.
There's too much
This is-
awesome now. We need to
Yeah.
stop.
This is peak people done.
Mhm.
People. We're gonna
Accurate.
put that on a shirt.
Peak pull. Oh,
You are peak people.
I hated it. I'm sorry.
It sounds like something you would say, like when you're trying to like, you're like, there's one sentence that makes sense, and there's another sentence that makes sense, and you just combine them, and are like, that wasn't a word.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it
we
was
all
not.
do that though. So
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
true.
Some more than
Yeah.
others.
But some of those make for some of the best sentences that let you sit there and just laugh for like the next
yeah,
45
just like,
minutes.
yeah, I said it. Answer the question. They're like, I don't know how to
And-
because there were some words that I don't recognize in there. Please.
That's
I
fair.
do that
That's
at
so
school.
fair.
Yeah.
I think we've all done that with our classes too, where you say a sentence that doesn't make sense and the kids look at you and you're like, no, I know what I asked. Keep going.
That's the nice part about like teaching like upper level sciences is you can be like, oh yeah, this is the word I said, and then it's some sciencey word that they're new to, and you're like, I pulled it off. You guys never knew. I'm secretly dumb.
Literally half of my things I say while I teach don't ever make sense. And I'm like, you know what? Just do what I mean, not what I say. It's fine.
I love doing it. It lets my kids know, we remind them that I'm human sometimes.
It's also fair.
My kids have
love-
several reminders that I'm human.
I had to play that song today, Only Human by Christina Perri, because I made a mistake and the one kid goes, you need to play this song. I'm like, done. So we like pulled out my phone in the middle of the lesson. It's just, and I'm only human. And they all started like acting it out. I'm like, yes.
Well, and I know. I think students need to majority of the students need to realize teachers aren't perfect either.
Mhm.
So, and that kind of
Yeah.
goes exactly what you're saying. I
Mhm.
had
love-
to remind my students today that I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even your teachers aren't.
Nobody's
I was gonna say, I
perfect.
think that's a
I
song too,
gotta
huh?
work it again and again till I get it right. We
I
love
wasn't
Hannah
thinking of
Montana.
that one. I was thinking, I think it's a Hillary Duff song.
Oh,
Carlene's with me.
We
I'm
love
with
Hillary
you.
Duff.
Antique.
I'm with you.
We'll sync our brains later and just be like, all right, here we go.
When we
This is
remember, we'll post about it either on the Instagram or TikTok. So like,
Yeah, there we go.
but
We'll
like
make
weeks,
we'll make Joey
but-
sing it.
but weeks before this episode comes out, so no one will understand.
It'll be posted on the Triple the Nonsense TikTok, so you can all check it out
Perfect.
about a song that
Perfect.
Joey's gonna sing that will just
Oh,
be a
Holly
reference
is
to
a
this
natural at
TikTok.
plugging.
Great,
Wow.
great. We love it. We're here.
I mean,
Oh,
I am
bro.
social media for my church, so like this is
Total
my other job.
Bro.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is fair.
It's a fun time.
So the last question I have written down, but we can continue after this. In the next 6 months, and we can all four go around for this one, but Holly, you're first.
Mm.
In the next 6 months, what are you most looking forward to?
Okay, so that's by July. I was like thinking months. I'm like, what
There's
am
not
I
a
doing?
finite number date. I'm not going to hold you to like, oh,
No,
that's
I'm just-
within 6 months, so
I'm
it doesn't
thinking
count.
of-
Canceled. Take her out. Mute her. Somebody mute her. She went
I'm
7 months into the future.
I'm thinking of
This
like
isn't my life. Pete.
I'm thinking of like span of time where I'm like, okay, so like in the next February to July.
I
what
mean,
am
to include like
thinking?
the rest of the school year plus summer break.
It would
Yeah.
actually be
Joey,
6
don't
months.
get technical.
6 months would be August.
I knew he
Perfect.
was
Then I
gonna
chose
get
the right
technical.
number.
I saw.
I'm great at
counting.
this.
Yep. Elementary teacher sitting here going February, March, April. May. Okay, so the next 6 months. Ooh, I want to go on another grand adventure
Hmm.
of some capacity. I don't ever do anything really exciting in winter, which bothers me because like I mentioned before, I've got Middle Eastern heritage a little bit, and they are very well known for their nomads and the nomadic nature of just wanting to wander all the time. So I don't do well being cooped up in one location and staying stagnant in like one space. Which is funny, living in the same state my entire life, but we traveled a lot as kids. So like
It's
I
a
was,
big state.
I
and it's
was-
a very big, it's a
That's
very
fair.
various state.
yeah, and I
There's a
mean,
lot of
I've
mountains.
been to, I think the updated count is 39 US states and 4 provinces in Canada. So like I have traveled a lot
Mm.
and I don't do well staying in the same area. So I want to go on some grand adventure. It can be in the state, it can be
Come to
somewhere else.
Maine. Maine. Hee hee hee.
I'm trying to work out some summer travel plans. Like I have a cousin getting married in Virginia and a lovely TikTok friend down in Virginia that I want to go visit. Bringing back our jelly hashtag for any deep cut people.
I did like actually friend her on Snapchat because like my old work mom gave me some giraffes to put in my house, and I friended her on Snapchat. I was like, hey, I promise I'm not a creep. I just have to show you this, and I think you would like it more than anybody else I know. And literally, that's been the extent of our Snapchat interaction, was like me showing her my giraffes.
I love that.
She's phenomenal. I actually had bought. My friend used to work at 10,000 Villages, and they had a sale on necklaces, and there was a necklace with a giraffe on it. And I bought it knowing I was going to see Jessie that summer. So she like showed up at my house, and I was like, I have a present for you. And she was like, this is the first time we've met in person. I'm like, yeah, but I bought you a thing. I was going to mail it to you for your birthday, but then you came here.
Aw.
So I might be able to get together with her this summer, but I just want to do something exciting and something that I haven't done before. So I'm giving myself 6 months to have a good grand
I like
adventure.
that.
I love that.
I'm so glad. I'll tell you all about it. Or you'll be involved. Who knows?
I want to be involved. Friendship.
Yay, friends.
Joe, your turn.
I already forgot the question. Can you ask it? 6
What do
months
you
is what I
think?
got.
Don't stop talking. I'm
What
sorry.
are
Something
you
about-
most
something about
looking
6
forward
months.
to in the next 6 months?
Oh, easy. Well, many things actually. But one thing that like recently has been like happening and planning is, so over the summer I work in a middle school theater camp, which I think I've talked about briefly before in an episode of the podcast. And like last summer we did it, it sort of like wasn't it because it was like short camps and like I had to record all the kids and I had to edit the songs like for every week and it was too much work. But like last week, my friend who runs the camp and we do it together, she was like, MTI released the rights to Newsies Junior. Should we do Newsies Junior? And I said yes. And she said, can we do it outdoors so we can actually do a production instead of doing the stuff we did last year? And I was like, yes, please. So we're gonna have like an actual production and it'll be outside, or the older kids are gonna do Newsies. I'm so excited.
That's so
Like,
freaking
it's gonna be
cool.
it's gonna
I'm
be
stoked for
fun.
you.
Message
and
us
also,
the dates and maybe we can make that like a trip.
and if any of those kids are listening, I just spoiled the surprise. That's what's happening. But whoops. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Whatever. Sorry.
I'm stoked for you.
And
I
without
would make that
going
a
into,
trip.
and without going into details, there's been stuff happening in my personal life socially that I would like to continue happening and just hoping that things continue. And that's all I'm going to say. So those are the things. So great. Moving on, Carlene.
We're all so
We
excited
love
for you on
you.
all of those fronts.
6 months. I would really love to do some traveling.
Maine.
I
I hear there's gonna be a Newsies show over the summer.
Yeah.
know. I
Could
would love to
go.
know the dates. No, for real.
They're on my phone. I'll text you later.
Yes, please.
For real though, I think in the next 6 months, definitely for me is traveling. The last time I traveled anywhere was in 2018, and I went to Chicago for a supernatural convention. So
Oh, so cool.
Love.
So cool.
I love
Um,
Chicago.
Holly, I don't
Oh,
know if
same.
I told you this, and
Hard
sorry,
same.
I'm digressing into a story, but I
Tell,
got to
tell.
sing karaoke with some of the cast.
Who?
I don't even watch the show, and that's cool.
We need
think
to.
that's awesome.
I need
yeah, we need
names.
deets. We need
Um,
deets.
This is important
Kim-
information for your podcast.
Kim Rhodes, Brianna Buckmaster, Lisa Berry, David. I'm spacing on his name. First name is David.
You can give character name. I'll know who you're talking about.
He was the man of letters. Catch.
Oh, yeah.
Catch.
Yeah.
Matt Cohen. And there was a few others.
Holly's face.
There was a few others. I have video, so I will share that with you guys.
Yes.
Which you can see at Triple the Nonsense Podcast on TikTok.
We should
Would
so
you guys
put that
like
on
to
the
know the
TikTok.
song? Or
That's
would
street
you like
cred
that
right
as a
there.
surprise?
You need to. That's amazing.
Write that
I'm
down.
so happy.
That's
It
so.
was Footloose.
Fun.
Yes.
It was my
I
friend,
leave.
my friend Danielle and I. We got to go up and sing, and yeah, it was a
I
it was a
can't.
blast.
I love that.
I thought I told you guys this story, but now I'm like mentioning
No, definitely not.
I mean,
Even
you
I
might
would have remembered that.
surprise. But yeah, definitely traveling some more. I have friends, you guys all across like the East Coast. I have a friend in Indiana who wants to meet up, go to Nashville, and the endless possibilities of potential road trips are endless at this point. So
I'm here for it.
traveling is the most that I want to do this.
Yay, adventures.
Yeah.
Maine.
And I'll just continue that whole theme. Like I'm going to Alaska
Oh,
the
I
day
forgot about
after school
that.
gets out. I'm stoked about that.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that
Dude,
so fun?
Alaska's on my list. Okay, well,
I've
like,
been to
all
Alaska
50
once
states are on my
already.
I've always wanted to go
love
there, too.
Alaska. I love Alaska so
Alaska.
much.
Holly's like, why didn't you tell me this? Pete?"
I feel
Ala-
so left out.
Alaska about it.
Well, this is what you get for like this is the VIP treatment of my friendship. You get to be on the podcast. You get the big details.
So it wasn't until I got onto the podcast that I actually got to be like this good of friends with you.
Yeah, you just went from like silver level to gold level just by like logging on here. So like congratulations. You get like a
Promotion.
membership package in the car and in the mail.
Love that.
In the
So
car.
like be on the lookout for that.
Great.
Yeah, my vocabulary is bad sometimes.
We love words.
Sometimes.
That'll be the next. That'll be the next item for Pete. It will be his little face, and it says, "Become a platinum member now."
Fun. Wait.
Fun thing about platinum, real quick. I'm going to interrupt you because I'm going to be a super nerd.
Yay!
yes,
as I
Nerd!
do.
Science Pete.
My very first AOL Instant Messenger name, which I
I know
still
this.
have, was Platinum Pete.
Oh,
Not because I was like, yo, check me out. It's because the periodic table symbol for platinum is PT. And my best friend in high school called me PT. And so I am forever Platinum Pete. So whenever platinum gets brought up, I'm like, let me tell you a nerdy story.
that is iconic. I think my first like AOL name was like Cheesehead. So like that, you beat me. I just
People probably thought you were from Wisconsin.
yeah, probably
seriously.
probably. I didn't know that.
They're
I was
probably like, hey, say bag.
I was like 13. I
Big.
just like cheese. I still like cheese. That's why.
No, cheese is really good. I had cheese several times today.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Okay.
several.
Cheese.
That sounds weird. I had it at least twice.
With your thing
I
though,
think
where you
just twice.
mentioned the Wisconsin accent, when you get your guests on here, you should have them say things in their accents.
Fun.
Okay, and that, Holly, say something in.
Pennsylvania.
Hold on. I'm gonna be offensive. Say something
I
in
was like-
Pittsburghese.
No. So to understand that context, I live outside Philly. we don't Pittsburgh here.
So if you live outside of Philly, you
Yeah.
need to sing the Fresh Prince theme song right now.
Oh yeah, you do.
No, I do know it, but no, because that's
Prove
like
it.
required learning. I don't. You're gonna make me rap on your podcast?
All right.
Because you
And you
can't
don't
sing that
have-
song. You don't
Fine.
sing that song. You rap it.
Right.
You could make it a song. In West
In-
Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spend most of my days.
I feel like that's sacrilege for like this area
Should we
to
make-
like become. Wasn't that my name on your phone for a while though? Pete was like Philly Fresh or something.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And then I was like, that's really generic. I need to change it to something more specific. And so I changed it, but it involves a word I shouldn't say on the podcast.
Yes.
But it also involves books.
It does.
So,
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, I just figured
Yeah.
it out, I think. Great, cool.
She's always like promoting books.
Yeah,
And
Hmm.
we're
yeah,
actually reading the
that's-
same book right now.
we are. It's so good.
It's
And I'll
so
get-
good.
I'll get there eventually.
When we're done this
Excited.
podcast, I'm literally about to go and continue reading because I started all these things before Pete, and then I told all of our friends about this book, and now Pete is ahead of me because
I'm
he's
ahead
had
of
more
Shannon now
time.
too. I'm ahead of
Well,
Shannon.
You
now,
know
It's
too.
'cause
why he's ahead
You've
of
had
you?
time off work while we've been
Yeah.
working.
Also, I have a snow day tomorrow as well. So it's just like,
Yeah. So I'm sitting there like during my prep period, sitting there like getting my lessons done and being like,
gotta go.
oh, if I get this done early, I'm gonna read another couple
and
pages.
and I do. I am cheating. I'm doing the audiobook, so I can like read
That
while
was
I'm
what I
walking
was
to
gonna say.
work. I can
Yes.
read while
Yeah,
I'm
true,
driving
true,
to
true.
the university.
I'm carrying
can
a book
read while I'm
this
cleaning.
thick in my bag
Yeah.
at all times.
My book is this.
Is it the second or third book that's like the thickest? Because I have the set and like
The
some of them are real
third-
big.
The third one is the thickest book. The second one is really big though. I think it's like the first book is deceptive because it's like, all right, like it's a decent size. And then
Mhm.
you get the second one, you're like, oh man.
and then the fourth one's like itty bitty. It's just there.
That's like there's like certain series where I laugh at the fact that like the first book is like it's a nice length, it's really good, and then you get the second one, it's this like honking thing.
It's like, oh, this is popular. Here we go.
Or
Right,
like
it's like
one
here's,
that I
here's
read.
your 30-day trial. You loved it.
Yeah.
Now you're committed. So here we go. You're not
Here's
gonna
the year
think about it
subscription,
because
yeah.
like you're hooked.
Or you
Mm.
get the one where it's the series where it's like everything is the same size until you get the last book, and that one is double every other book.
Oh yeah.
And every page is like a cliffhanger, so you're like you can't
I
stop.
can't
So
I
stop.
you're
gotta keep
hauling
going. Yeah.
this like 10-pound book around, just going, but I must know what happens next.
Here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
So much nerd, so little
much
time.
I
nerd.
love the nerd. It's the best, really.
It is the best.
It's fabulous. It's a great time.
So, anyways, in West Philadelphia, what happened?
I can't with Joey.
Somebody
I love-
mute that man.
Okay. All right. All right. in West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of a school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh and there were dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it. Yo, home's to Bel Air. I pulled up to the house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabby, "Yo, home, smell you later." Looked at my kingdom. I was finally there, just sitting on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. And I do know that there is another verse in there, but I did the TV version.
That was the TV version.
Joey, you missed the
Love it.
opportunity to blow your train whistle at some point.
You told me to turn my mic off, so I did out of kindness and just danced and sung along.
That's fair. I did. I ruined everything.
No.
Holly, that was beautiful. You did great. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. The train was too much.
I'm here for it.
It's amazing.
All right, Pete, do you have anything else, or should we start?
That is
wrapping
all
things
I've
up?
got. I think you know who Holly is. We've grown to appreciate her as a person. We've learned about her. We've learned about
Friendship.
ourselves, friendship. And I think we have given people a wonderful dose of serotonin for the last half hour, 45 minutes.
It's been almost an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
am
great.
not sorry. This was
Apologize.
phenomenal.
We love
Wow.
content, and I'm gonna make it a little longer.
Content.
Because halfway through filming or recording, whatever, I remembered, oh, it's still February, and at the end of the podcast episode, we're celebrating Black History Month, and so we need to put a Black History fact and like talk about, hey, we have links in our bio to donate to like good charities. So Pete, do you have a fact? If not, I pulled up on my phone one randomly just in case.
Take it away, Joey.
In case
Thank
we
you.
didn't have one, I grabbed one real quick.
Good
Yay,
call.
knowledge.
We love knowledge, exactly. And we love celebrating like Black lives and voices, big thing. So fun fact. Thurgood Marshall, and I hope I pronounced that correctly,
Oh, you
was the
did.
first African American ever appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. He was appointed by President Lyndon B. Johnson and served on the court from 1967 to 1991, when I was almost born. So I think that's so fun, and we love
Yep.
that.
His history is incredible. They have so many movies out about him right now. And like, honestly,
Tell us some more facts.
Oh, I couldn't do it justice, but there is a movie, and I believe it's called Marshall, that has I'm gonna say his name wrong, but the guy that played Black Panther, our
Chadwick
beautiful
Boseman?
king, Chadwick Boseman plays Thurgood Marshall.
Oh,
Incredible movie, but it's very like it's a deep movie.
mhm.
But reading up on Thurgood Marshall after watching that movie, like if you ever get a chance, go look at this man because he was such an inspiration, but he like faced a lot of adversity, not just like racially, but just in who he was as a person.
I love that.
See, my quick facts, just so we had it, you gave more depth, and I'm
Such
here
a
for
wealth
that.
of knowledge.
Thank you so
I-
much.
I'm such a history buff. This is my thing.
I'm here for it.
We love it.
So again, if you're interested or financially are able to, there's a bunch of links down in the description. Please consider donating to any charity or even if it's not in the description, any charity of your choice to help like support, Black rights and everything. So there's one, I wish I had a memory that was good, but that I really, really love that specifically focuses on the well-being and mental health for Black females. I forget which one it's called. It's linked down there. Super important. We love mental health here. So consider
Yes.
donating today.
Yeah.
And celebrate Black lives all year round, not just February, but it's good that we have this time to shout them out some more. So
Woohoo.
Well,
Great.
Holly, we really appreciate that you came on as our first guest, but to start our friendship arc.
yeah.
We are really excited to have 2 more guests join us for this arc. As a little hint, my real life best friend of 18 plus years is going to make a appearance on a future episode for this arc, along with somebody that Joey has gotten to know as well, a dear friend of his. So we're really excited for this arc.
Friendship time.
And make sure that you are following all of our social medias, the Instagram, the TikTok. Follow us on Anchor and Spotify. All of The main social media is at Triple the Nonsense, with the exception of Instagram, which is Triple the Nonsense Podcast. Make sure you check us out here on YouTube for the unedited video version.
Good stuff.
And all of our personal TikTok handles. We will have Holly's information also down in the description of the video as well. And am I missing anything else?
The only other thing I can think of is when we post it to Spotify as well, there's always a question with each episode that has to relate about the episode.
Mhm.
So if you want a chance to possibly get shouted out in a future episode, answer the question that's on the Spotify. It's a great time. Why not? It's free. We love thinking. I don't know.
We love our fans.
We do. We love you all
our
so
fans.
much. Thank you, Mom.
No, but for real, thank you for everybody who's been listening thus far. We really appreciate it. When we started this podcast, we didn't know where it was going to go. So we appreciate each and every one of you who watches the video and listens on Spotify or Anchor. So we appreciate you guys.
I'll speak for your fans. We appreciate you guys. This is amazing. I love the serotonin boost I get from listening to your podcast. I'll be like getting ready in the morning or driving to work or right after work, and I get to spend time with my friends. It's a lovely time.
I don't appreciate any of you. I hate you all.
We don't
Feelings
appreciate you
mutual.
either, Joey. I'm
Also, we know
only
you
here
smell
for
bad.
Carlene.
I don't smell bad. I just took a shower. How dare you?
For the first time in like a week. It
That's
doesn't
not
count.
true. I took
I
a
know,
shower
I lied.
yesterday.
Before we get any more nonsense happening here,
I'm
Close
Joey.
yourself, gentlemen.
I'm Carlene.
And I'm Pete, and this was Triple the Nonsense.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.